Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you the entire process of making the biggest painting of my life. Subscribe for regular art tutorials. So if you follow me on Instagram, you must be knowing that I recently received the biggest painting of my life. The client wanted a painting which was 2 by 2 meters. So obviously this size was not possible in stretched canvas, so I had to order these rolled canvas. One disadvantage that I feel about these rolled canvases is that you have a lot of those left. It's easy that you can cut them in different sizes and use whenever you want, but what I feel is that storing them and then cutting them in different sizes as per client needs, we always are left with small sizes and I don't really know what to do with them. That's a really tricky part. So if you have any ideas, you can let me know in the comments how to plan better maybe, or I don't know. As you can see, I was really struggling to measure this whole canvas because I was all alone, so I did not have anyone to hold the tape for me. After packaging and measuring, I marked the canvas as per the size which was required by the client. The next step was to cut the canvas. Then I pasted the canvas from all sides on the floor. First, I cleaned the floor to make sure that my canvas doesn't sit on a dusty region and gets dirty from behind. So first of all, I cleaned my floor very properly and then I pasted the canvas by stretching it as much as possible. I've pasted it using the broad cello tape because that has more area coverage and it sticks really well. I have also used those broad cello tapes to add a margin on the sides so that I get a clean edge. That also gives a blank space for the client to use when they will plan to get it framed. So it's always a very good idea to use a tape on the sides so that you get all these edges. Next, I started by applying coats of white acrylic paint. This is the base color of the painting. So although the canvas is already white, but you cannot directly use it. You have to apply some base coats. I applied 2 coats of this white paint and I let each of them dry very properly before moving on to the next layer. The next step was to start the painting. This is actually a gaunt painting and it has got 4 different types of trees on all 4 corners. Then it also have some colorful birds in the center. You will see how these 4 trees are totally different from one another and how much detailed they are. For example, this is one of the corners and you can see here there is one main branch and lots of small pointed branch arising from it. One tricky part about painting huge paintings, it can be canvas painting or it can be mural painting, is that you actually need a very good hand movements. you have to have a really good control over your wrist movements, your shoulder movements, because you need to draw larger strokes, and sometimes you are not able to reach the region where you actually want to paint. So you have to stretch your hands and do that. The branches and the stems had lots and lots of detailing, as you can clearly see in this video. Each and every line was drawn with precision and great concentration. Yes, it is tiring, of course, it is exhausting. But at the end, when you see its neatness, it's actually really fulfilling. This was also a very tiring process because I cannot go over the canvas for painting, and thus I had to keep stretching my body. This whole painting was very stressful for neck and my back region because I was constantly painting in different postures which were not appropriate. Also, because of the size, it was not convenient and most of the areas were not accessible. I have used acrylic markers and permanent markers along with acrylic paint. Compare this particular tree with the first one that we drew. That was so pointed and these are so curvy. But one thing is common in all these trees is that they all are highly detailed. The details can be different from one another, but they are definitely detailed. Most of the Indian folk arts are very detailed. Many of people who are not really aware about Gond art usually confuse it with Madhubani painting. The client was very particular that the painting does not have to be colorful. Yes, it does have little bit of colors, but they are limited in certain regions only. 95% of this painting is just black and white. And I really find it very interesting and classy. This is one of the main trees of this painting because this has got lots of wildlife around it. Later on you will get to see that it has 3 deers and lots of birds. So this is actually one of the most important corners of the painting. I had to make sure that each and every line is really neat. a lot of time if you do it properly in the first time itself. So at this stage only, if I'll draw all these lines very properly and with proper concentration, I will not have to invest a lot of time in final touches and finishing. Now this particular tree had stippling. I had to make sure that each and every dot actually looks like a dot. When you try to draw them in a hurry, they tend to get elongated or ends up looking like ovals. So it was really important to make sure that I draw these very carefully and they look like dots, perfect circles, and not elongated or ovals. This was one of the most time-consuming part of this painting. This particular section really took me around 4 hours to complete. Next, I started working on the birds. The client was very particular about each and every shade. They wanted burnt orange for these birds. When I completed these birds and shared the picture with them, they were not really happy with this. So we ended up making them maroonish with some blackish details. This painting really has got lots of different elements, and all elements are very natural. A different trees, leaves, different birds, deers. So entirely this theme of the painting is forest. It has got different types of birds. Some are just pure black, some are maroonish, some are brownish, and some are black with white dots. I did not have dotting tools, so I used the back of my pencil. Depending upon the size of the circles that you want, you can use the daily common household items for dotting. I've used different objects in different sections. For example, this is the body of a deer, and I used back of my brush for it. Take a look at these birds. They are just completely black. Now these birds have very bland dots and they are larger in size. These birds have got haphazard dots, and these are brownish in shades. So all birds are quite different from one another. I'm showing some close-up shots of all these elements. Now this painting is finally completed. These are another birds, and look at how detailed they are with all the dots. Now these are the maroonish birds which I was talking about earlier. These were earlier painted orange, but the client wanted a change, so now it's maroonish. This is the complete painting. Next comes one of the most satisfying part of a painting, and that is removing the tape. You can see how neat and how sharp the painting edges are. So once you stick the tape, make sure to apply lots of pressure and make sure that it is properly stuck. Any gaps in the middle or any bubbles will not let you have those clean edges. I will also show you how I packed this painting, because packaging and shipping is as important as painting it. This is again one of my favorite parts, signing. It's a great feeling of accomplishment. Now you can clearly see how huge this painting is. To pack the painting, I bought these PVC pipes from the market and I cut them at the exact position as per the length of the painting. I used a wide brush to brush off all the dirt or any of the unwanted elements. Then I carefully rolled the canvas over the pipe. As I'm rolling, I make sure to brush off the dirt. So every step is brushing off the dirt first and then rolling. At last securing it with the tape. Then I put it into a plastic cover to make it safe from any water contact. The next layer was cardboard. I could not find corrugated sheets in my local market, so I used these cardboard sheets which are available at local stationery store. You can also use cardboard boxes by breaking them and then using them to cover it. Just make sure to understand that every layer that you are adding actually adds to the weight, and thus the shipping charges will increase. You can also include a layer of bubble wrap in the middle. But since I have already added PVC pipe which is quite strong, I'm confident that the painting is not going to bend or break. Here are some pictures from the photo shoot. The pictures really do not do as much justice as these details are. Share your views about the painting in the comments below. I would love to hear you.